Good morning everyone and welcome to our podcast. I'm Arifa and I'll be your moderator for today's discussion. Today's discussion focuses on the question and the rise of Bahasa Rojak on social media impacted the proficiency and identity of the formal Malay language among the youth. Before we begin, let me briefly explain what this topic is about. Bahasa Rojak refers to the mixing of two or more languages, particularly Malay and English. In everyday communication nowadays, this speaking style has become increasingly common on social media platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. On the one hand, many people believe that Bahasa Rojak makes communication more engaging, relatable and easier for young people. On the other hand, others are concerned that its widespread use may gradually weaken young people's proficiency in formal Malay and affect the dignity of our national language. As the formal linguist Wittgenstein once said, the limits of my language mean the limits of my word. These points remind us that language is more than just a tool for communication. It also reflects our identity, culture, and the way we think. Therefore, in today's discussion, we will explore whether Bahasa Rojak is simply a modern communication trend or whether it poses a challenge to preserving the proper use of the Malay language among the younger generation. Before we continue, let me introduce our panelists. Our first panelist is Zuri Izati and our second panelist is Yusra Christina Alisha. Thank you both for joining us today. Now, I'd like to begin by sharing my perspective on the role of influencer. From my perspective, influencer has become one of the most powerful voices among today's younger generation. Many teenagers spend hours every day watching TikTok, video, Instagram reels, YouTube shows, and live streaming content. As a result, they often imitate not only the lifestyle of their favorite influencer, but also the way they communicate. For example, many lifestyle, beauty, gaming, and learning vlog influencers naturally mix Malay and English when speaking to their audience. We often hear expressions such as, "Guys, today I nak share my morning routine," or "You all budget test this. It's really good." Because these expressions are repeated almost every day, followers gradually adopt the same communication style in their own conversation. Furthermore, I believe this happens because influencers want to sound friendly, authentic, and relatable. Using Bahasa Rojak also allows them to connect with a wider audience, especially young nations who are comfortable using both Malay and English. In fact, this influencer is trained by the widespread use of social media among Malaysia according to the Digital 2024 report cited by the Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission (MCMC). About 18.3% of Malaysian population are active social media users. This highlights the significant role of digital platform in shaping communication patterns. As many teenagers are frequently exposed to the language style used by influencers and may imitate those styles in their own daily conversation. Nevertheless, I don't believe influencers should be blamed entirely. The real issue is not the existence of Bahasa Rojak itself, but rather when and where it is used. Using mixed language in casual conversation or entertainment content is generally acceptable. However, in formal situations such as presentation, academic writing, interview, or official event, young people should still be able to communicate confidently in proper Malay. Ultimately, influencers also have a social responsibility. Besides creating entertaining content, they can encourage their followers to appreciate formal Malay by demonstrating that it is professional, respectful, and equally relevant in today's digital world. Now, let's hear another perspective. To begin our discussion on the cause of this issue, I'd like to invite our first panelist. Zu,
Yes.
from your perspective, do you think the family environment plays an important role in influencing the use of Bahasa Rojak among young people? Could you explain your view?
Thank you so much, Arifa. So, to start our discussion, let us look at what is Bahasa Rojak really is. So, simply put, it is when a person mixes two or more languages, usually Malay and English, in one sentence. Many people think this is just a normal and harmless way to talk on social media. However, it actually brings a negative long-term effect. It makes our youth forget how to use proper grammar and vocabulary in the formal Malay language. To begin with, why does this happen? Many people blame social media, but I believe the real problem starts much closer to us. It starts within the family and is supported by friends or peers. Let's look at the first cause, the family environment. The family is the first place where a child learns how to speak. Today, many modern parents like to mix Malay and English when talking to their kids at home. They think this is a good way for their children to learn both language at the same time. But because there is no clear guide, the children get confused. They grow up without knowing how to finish a full sentence in just one proper language. For example, at home, parents might say things like, "Adik, please pass the sambal belacan," or "Jangan makan nasi banyak sangat." Nanti tips you masak. Because the adults hear this every single day for many years. It becomes the habit. So when they go online and open their social media, they type exactly the same way. They write captions like, "Guys, check out my new outfit for today. Aesthetic teruk kan?" This shows that the bad habit from home carried over the social media, making them lose their formal Malay skills.
Thank you, Zuri. That's very insightful point. I agree that the family is where children first develop their language habits. As the saying goes, charity begins at home, right? And the same principle apply to language. The way children communicate at home often shapes how they communicate in society. Zuri, what happens at home will definitely reflect online. But what about friends? In your opinion, how do parents make this issue even more challenging?
That brings me to the second cause, peer pressure and the need to fit in. Teenagers and adults always want to be accepted by their friends too. Language is the easiest way to show that you belong to the group. If a group of friends use bahasa Roja all the time, anyone who tries to speak pure or Malay or formal Malay will look weird. They will be this as being too rigid, old-fashioned, or boring. Furthermore, to avoid being left out, the young willingly change the way they speak to follow their friends. This habit becomes much stronger on social media because everyone can see. For example, look at WhatsApp group chats or Instagram comment section. Instead of typing properly like, "Adakah kamu mahu menyertai perbincangan kumpulan kita?" They will text like, "Weh, malam ni korang join tak group discussion? Sekarang 2:30 malam." They also love to use trending words on their Instagram highlights or TikTok videos like "healing dengan member" or "spill dirty cepat, I cannot play Malay."
God.
Words like ghosting, healing, and spill dirty are mixed into Malay sentence just because their friends are doing it. Over time, they forget how to spread formal language from informal slang. When they have to write an essay in exams or speak in a presentation, they accidentally use bahasa Rojak, which lowers the dignity of our national language. In line with sociolinguistic perspective, according to Holmes 2013, language used among youths is strongly shaped by peer group identity and social unity, where individuals often adjust their speech patterns to align with group norms and expectations.
Thank you, Zuri. I truly appreciate your perspective. I agree that both the family environment and peer influence play significant roles in shaping the way young people communicate. When mixed language becomes a daily habit at home and among friends, is it more likely to continue on social media and even informal setting? Now, let's explore another perspective. Yusra, what's your take on the cause of this phenomenon?
Thank you, Arifah. I would like to add to what Suyuni just said. I agree that family plays an important role because children often learn the way they speak from the people around them. However, I believe the entertainment industry makes that influence even stronger. Even if parents encourage their children to speak proper bahasa Melayu at home, young people still spend hours every day watching sex drama.
You see.
And following influencers who use bahasa Rojak. As a result, they may start copying the same way of speaking because it sounds modern, fun, and relatable. In my opinion, one of the biggest causes of bahasa Rojak among young people is the entertainment industry. If you look around, many local dramas, movies, songs, and content created by celebrities and influencers mix bahasa Melayu with English. We often hear phrases like "so sad gila," "confirm lah," "type of person," or even like "slay." These expressions are no longer unusual. They have become part of everyday entertainment that young people watch and listen to almost every day. Because of this constant exposure, many young people start to copy the way their favorite actors, singers, and influencers speak. They see bahasa rojak as something modern, interesting, and fashionable. Over time, they become so used to hearing it that they also begin using it in daily conversation, even in situations where formal bahasa Melayu would be more appropriate, such as classroom presentation or speaking with teachers. I also think the entertainment industry affects more than just the words people use. It changes how young people think about Malay language. When celebrities who use bahasa rojak are seen as confident, relatable, and popular, young viewers may begin to think that speaking proper bahasa Melayu sounds too formal or old-fashioned. This can slowly... Why? I was too stunned by your beauty. Sorry. You guys look so pretty today. This can slowly reduce their appreciation for the beauty and dignity of the national language. This idea is supported by research as well. Awang 2004 explained that bahasa rojak is normally used in informal situations such as daily conversation and joke.
Yes.
However, today entertainment industry has made this type of language much more common and accepted by young audience. Bakar and Mohammed Azlan 2018 found that mixed language communication is widely used among Malaysians on social media, showing how entertainment content and online platforms continue to encourage the use of bahasa rojak. Hence, in my opinion, the entertainment industry is not just reflecting the way young people speak. It is also shaping their language habits and influencing how they view the importance of using proper bahasa Melayu.
Thank you, Yusra. This is a very interesting perspective. I agree that the entertainment industry has a powerful influence on young people, and the language used by celebrities and content creators can easily become traits that many teenagers choose to imitate. Overall, today's discussion has highlighted three important perspectives: the influence of influencer, the family environment, and the entertainment industry. Although each factor plays a different role, they all contribute to shaping the language habits of today's youth. With that in mind, let's move on to our second round, where we discuss some possible solutions to this issue. Okay guys, welcome back to the second round of our discussion. In the first round, we explore the factors contribute to the rise of bahasa rojak among young people from the perspective of influencer, the family environment, and the entertainment industry. Now, let's shift our focus to the possible solutions. From my perspective as somebody presenting influencer, I believe influencers have an important responsibility because they communicate with thousands or even millions of followers every day. Whether they release it or not, the words they choose can influence the way young people speak and communicate. Personally, I don't think influencers need to stop using bahasa rojak, right? Completely. It has become a common communication style on social media and often makes content feel more natural, engaging, and relatable. However, what truly matters is knowing when is it appropriate to use bahasa rojak and when formal Malay should be used instead. For example, when creating educational content, promoting government campaigns, discuss important social issues, or attending official events, influencers should communicate in proper Malay. By doing so, they demonstrate that formal Malay is not outdated or boring. Instead, it reflects professionalism, respect, and pride in our national language. Moreover, influencers can use their platforms to promote positive language awareness. They could create short educational videos introducing proper Malay vocabulary, explain the difference between formal and informal language, or encourage their followers to use appropriate Malay in school, university, and workplace. Although this may seem like small efforts, they can make a meaningful difference because social media reach millions of users every day. Ultimately, influencers are more than just content creators. They are role models. If they choose to communicate responsibly, they can inspire young people to embrace modern communication while still preserving the dignity and beauty of the Malay language. Now, I'd like to invite our first panelist. Zuri, in your opinion, what practical steps can parents take at home to encourage their children to use proper Malay instead of relying too much on Bahasa Roja?
Thank you, Arifah. Since the problem starts within our immediate social circles, the solution must start there. We cannot just sit down and wait for government to place or textbook to fix it. Instead, we need real daily change. First of all, parents must be disciplined with language parenting at home. Teaching English is very important for the future, but parents should be separate the language clearly. So if you want to speak Malay with your children, speak full Malay without inserting English words. If you want to speak English, finish the whole sentence in English. According to GEEC1052, children develop stronger bilingual competence when they receive consistent and well-separated language input from an early age. For example, instead saying of go dress up now, kita dah late, nanti jam pula break tu. Parents must consciously choose to say, sila selalu pandai sekarang, kita sudah lewat, nanti jalan lain susah. Or simply say, please get dressed now, we are late and the road will be jammed. This helps the child's brain build a clear map for God's language. Furthermore, parents should also buy good Malay storybooks, newspapers, or educational magazines for their home. When children have a strong language-based mood at home, they will not follow the broken language on social media so
Oh, thank you, Zuri. That's a practical and meaningful suggestion. I agree that a strong language foundation begins at home. And when parents communicate consistently, children are more likely to develop good language habits, right? Besides the family environment, Zuri, peers' influence is also an important factor, right? So how can we encourage young people to influence one another in a more positive way?
Okay, next, to fix the trend dynamic, we need to make speaking. I'm sorry.
It's okay, Zuri.
We need to make speaking proper Malay look good and intelligent among young leaders. We need to completely destroy the idea that formal Malay is boring or outdated. We need to completely. I'm sorry. We cannot stop yachts from talking to their friends, but we can change the way they talk to their friends.
Right.
So, for instance, students, leaders, and popular students on campus can play a big role by starting native peer challenge.
The JPP.
Yes. For example, they can start a 24-hour pure Malay challenge on TikTok or Instagram stories. In this challenge, friends invite each other to post short videos or vlogs using correct, beautiful, and elevated Malay words.
I like to do.
Moreover,
I've seen Arifah video on YouTube.
me too.
Thank you for watching.
Moreover, to make it exciting, peer groups can give small rewards or shout-outs to friends who can speak the best Malay without missing a single English word. As notified from 2013, language use is strongly influenced by social identity and peer groups now, especially among young people. So finally, when the popular or influential students on campus start showing that using correct Malay vocabulary, like using words like menatijahkan, mendobrak, or keseragaman, is a sign. What?
I never heard mendobrak. So it's nice to use Malay. Really? Oh, yeah. Malay.
So it's a sign of high intelligence and charisma. The rest of the peer group will naturally copy them to fit in. We can use the psychological mean for question and sentence in a good way.
Oh, yeah.
Therefore, if we make linguistic try a new social trend among friends, the young will gladly talk. Sorry.
It's okay, Zuri. Okay, let's start. Right?
Yes. If we make linguistic try a new social trend among friends, the young will gladly drop my Rojak to follow the new cool trend.
Yeah.
That's a good solution for me.
Okay. Thank you, Zuri, for your good solution.
You're welcome.
It is a very creative idea, like it. Rather than forcing young people to start using Bahasa Rojak, we can encourage them to see proper Malay as something modern, confident, and meaningful. As you've mentioned, positive peer influence can become a powerful tool in promoting better language habit, right? So we need to choose friends correctly.
Yes.
Now let's hear another perspective. Yusra, What would you suggest as a possible solution to address this issue?
Thank you, Arifah. Since the root cause I miss and yet is tied to entertainment, I strongly believe the solution also needs to come from within that same industry, rather than being placed entirely on schools or on individual students. Firstly, I would suggest that media authorities, such as the Ministry of Communications, together with local television stations, introduce clear language guidelines for mainstream dramas and entertainment programs, especially those targeted at teenage audience. This does not mean banning informal speech entirely. I think that would be unrealistic and honestly a little unfair to how people naturally speak. However, there should be a healthier balance so young viewers are also regularly exposed to well-spoken, proper Malay dialogue, not only casual mid speech. I'm thinking about my friend who used bahasa Roja. I already marah. Scold her. Even something as simple as having one or two character in a drama who constantly more than good, articulate bahasa Melayu could subtly shift what audience sees as normal or aspirational. I also like to propose something more proactive. Language campaigns should be run directly on the same platforms where the problem originates, such as TikTok and Instagram, instead of relying only on posters. Like, who sees poster now, right? Yeah. In school corridor or formal announcement, the young people tend to scroll past. Yes. If the message about preserving problem Malay is delivered in a fun, relevant, and youth-friendly format, such as short skits, humorous comparison between Roja and proper facing, or collaboration with popular local creators, such as oh my god, Pupu that I watch on YouTube. Why is that? Oh yeah, yeah, that's such a good video. I believe some people would be far more receptive to it instead of tuning it out as another lecture. Interestingly, there is actually research that supports the idea that mixed language, when used strategically, can be turned into something positive rather than purely harmful. John and Dumani, 2013, studied the use of code mixing in Malaysian advertising and found that a product advertisement using the phrase lagi power, lagi best. Like, you have seen it, right? Yeah. Created a strong sense of local identity and generated a genuinely positive attitude among customers towards the brand. What this tells me is that mixed language is not inherently damaging. It's powerful because it feels authentic and relatable. Therefore, instead of fighting the power, I think we should direct it by using that same creative energy to make proper bahasa Melayu feel just as relatable, rather than treating formal language and youth culture as if they are always at odds with one another. When there is a sense of creativity and friendly competition involved, students are much more likely to participate willingly instead of viewing it as another role imposed on them. That's all from me.
Thank you, Yusra. Those were excellent suggestions. I completely agree that the entertainment industry, content creator and social media platform all have an important role in promoting proper Malay in creative and engaging ways. Overall, today's discussion reminds us that preserving the dignity of the Malay language is a shared responsibility. Whether we are influencers, parents, educators, content creators, or students like us, each of us has a role to play in encouraging the appropriate use of formal Malay while embracing the benefits of modern communication.
Yes.
Alright, let's go. Let's move on to our final round.
Final already!
Yeah. Oh my god. We, each of us, will share our concluding thoughts on today's discussion. Okay, welcome to the final round of our discussion. We had a meaningful conversation about the cause and possible solution regarding the use of bahasa Rojak among young people. Before we conclude today's podcast, I'd like to invite each of our panelists to share their final thoughts on this issue. First, I'd like to hear from Zurin. Zurin, after our discussion today, what is your final opinion on the role of parents and peers in addressing the issue of bahasa Rojak among young people?
Thank you.
Welcome.
To bring everything to clear and complete conclusion, We must realize that the rise of bahasa rojak on social media is not just a technological problem.
Yes.
Or a digital disaster.
Yeah.
Instead, it is a direct reflection of our daily habits in our closest social environments.
Such as we when we wake up, we always use our phone first, right?
Yes.
We
Social media does not create this mixed language out of nowhere. It only copies, magnifies, and multiplies the exact habits that we permeate inside our homes and among our friendship every single day. While we live in a modern world where we need to learn English, get a higher education, and use global technology, we must never sacrifice our linguistic identity and our roots in the process. The proficiency, beauty, and dignity of the formal Malay language depend entirely on our own pride and discipline and as its speakers. Therefore, as a suggestion, strong effort should begin at home by encouraging parents to practice clear and consistent language use, while schools and student communities should continuously promote the correct and respectful use of Malay in daily communication. Small but consistent action like this can gradually shape a stronger language culture among the younger generation. So, in conclusion, if we love our heritage, we must protect its boundaries. So, thank you for the Arfa and Yusra for this wonderful, deep, and eye-opening discussion.
Thank you, Zuri. I completely agree with your opinion. Parents and peers are indeed the closet influencer in a young person's life, right? And their support is essential in encouraging the proper use of the Malay language. As you highlight, preserving our language begins with the small habit we practice every day. Thank you for sharing your valuable insight.
You're welcome.
Now, let's hear from our second panelist, Yusra. Would you like to share your final thoughts before we wrap up today's discussion?
Yes, thank you, Arifa and Zuri, for today's discussion. To conclude, I firmly believe that the issue of bahasa rojak cannot be taken lightly because its roots run deep within the entertainment industry, an industry that tourist youth are constantly exposed to from the moment they wake up and check their phones, like what I said earlier, right?
Yes.
When we check our phone until the moment we go to sleep after watching one last video. That said, I don't think the goal should be to completely reject modern entertainment culture because realistically, that's simply not going to happen. And honestly, it should not have to. Entertainment is not the enemy here. It's simply a powerful tool that has not yet been fully directed towards protecting the language rather than eroding it. Instead, I believe the real solution lies in collaboration between policymakers, the entertainment industry, content creators, and educators to nurture genuine appreciation and pride in the Malay language while still allowing young people to enjoy the media they love. Ultimately, what matters most is that our youth are equipped with the awareness to distinguish between casual, informal speech and formal, dignified language and to know confidently, even when each one is appropriate, whether they are chatting with friends online or presenting in front of a classroom. If we can achieve that balance through better media guidelines, more responsible content creators, engaging school initiatives, and platform-based campaigns, I believe we can protect the integrity of Bahasa Melayu and even English language without alienating the very generation we are trying to reach. That's all for me.
Thank you, Yusra. I agree with your opinion. The entertainment industry has a powerful influence on young people, and with the greater responsibility from content creators and stronger language awareness, I believe we can preserve the dignity of the Malay language while still embracing modern communication. Finally, I'd like to share my own concluding thought from the perspective of influencer. In my opinion, bahasa rojak is not entirely a negative trend, right? It reflects Malay multilingual society and makes communication more relaxed and relatable, especially on social media. However, it is equally important for young people to recognize that different situations require different styles of communication. Influencers continue to shape the opinion, attitude, and communication habits of millions of followers every day. Therefore, they should use their platform responsibly. They can still create creative and entertaining content while reminding their audience of the importance of using proper Malay in formal situations such as education, official events, and professional communication. Furthermore, I believe that preserving the dignity of the Malay language is not solely the responsibility of teacher or the government. It is a shared responsibility among influencers, filmmakers, celebrity, parents, educators, and every member of society. Only through collective effort can we ensure that future generations continue to appreciate and respect our national language while embracing the benefit of modern communication. To conclude, bahasa rojak is not the main problem. Rather, the real challenge lies in knowing when and where it should be used appropriately. If we can distinguish between formal and informal communication, we will be able to preserve the beauty, dignity, and identity of the Malay language without limiting creativity or self-expression. That brings us to the end of today's podcast. On behalf of my fellow panelists, Zuri Izzati dan Yusra Christina Alisha, thank you very much for listening and spend your time with us. We sincerely hope this discussion has given you a deeper understanding of how social media influence language use among young people and why preserving our national language remains important in today's digital era. Once again, thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful day and see you in your next discussion. Thank you.
You're welcome.